Lightyear, a movie about Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear is an iconic character to many people, but I'm talking about the toy version from Toy Story, not this weird version voiced by Chris Evans. So Disney came along and Pixar came along and said, hey, you know what would be cool? You know in Toy Story, the way there's a toy, Buzz Lightyear, and it's based on an action hero that Andy loves, let's show people that movie as a Pixar movie. And on the face of that, you go, that's really cool. Let's do that. It was really weird. The movie itself had some funny moments in it. It had me laughing, had me belly laughing at certain points because some of the things in it, some of the real jokes in it as well, I was very surprised to hear. The concept of a sci-fi movie like that was quite cool. And some of the stuff in it was quite interesting. But I don't particularly get who the movie's marketed to. I guess it's for people who grew up watching Toy Story in the 90s, who are all, you know, big kids now like myself. You know, just grown-ups, but kids on the inside. It's like me. But even still, all those people who grew up with Toy Story think of Buzz Lightyear the toy as the iconic version. Now we've got this other version of Buzz Lightyear, which is a weird, it's almost like a knockoff version, like a cheap bootleg version of Buzz Lightyear, even though it is a Pixar thing. It's very confusing. Now I know I'm a day late and $1 short of this review because the movie came out a long time ago, but it's about to hit Disney Plus just next week. I didn't get the opportunity to see it in the movie theater because a lot of stuff came up at the time. It's actually still in my local movie theater, as is Top Gun Maverick and Elvis, which are both movies I still want to see, but I haven't had the chance to see yet. But Lightyear was top of my list of movies to see this year. I'm a big Toy Story fan, and I was looking forward to it, despite the trailers putting me off a little bit because it looked weird from a Toy Story perspective. But you gotta separate it from that and think of it just as an independent movie. Well, not an independent movie, independent of Toy Story. And the story in it is quite interesting, although I could see a lot of children being very bored by this movie. Because number one, the pacing in it is very bad. It's very slow. And it's quite a long movie for an animated movie. Some of the even concepts in it might be too big for them to grasp. Like when Buzz is on this other planet, he's got everybody trapped there from a mistake he made. He's trying to save everybody. He goes up to space and they're trying to break light speed to save everybody somehow. And every time he goes up into space, he's up there for 4 minutes, but on the planet that they're on, that's 4 years. It's confusing for a lot of adults. Never mind children, they might struggle with that concept. It brings up a thing I talked about with Star Wars, with The Last Jedi, where they brought up time a lot. Time is relative to the certain planets that you're on. For example, Mars takes longer to orbit around the sun than the Earth does. It takes more days. So a year is longer on Mars than it is on Earth. So if you're setting your movie on a distant planet far, far away, that time of 1 year is relative to how long it takes that planet to revolve around its star. Now, I'm not a scientist. That's my basic understanding of time. Maybe someone out there has a better knowledge of it than me and can tell me in the comment section if that's wrong. But to have a movie like this, you know, it's a strange concept on a different planet to keep to Earth time while on a faraway planet. So every time Buzz comes back from one of these failed attempts at breaking light speed, the people around him have aged 4 years at a time. He keeps failing, so every time he comes back, they're a little bit older and a little bit older and a little bit older until his best friend or commander is dead. Kind of depressing for a kid's movie. The movie features time dilation and people dying, and for a kids movie it's kind of weird. You've also got some scary moments that I think a lot of kids would put off, but as I mentioned, I'm not sure this movie is made for kids, and at the same time a lot of people will be put off going to see an animated movie in a movie theater because it's going to be filled with kids. And if you're, you know, a single person who doesn't like being around kids all the time, screaming and shouting and being annoying, you're probably not going to go to the movie theater to see that movie. So it's kind of weird who they marketed this to. As I mentioned, the movie had some laugh out loud moments. It had some really good jokes in there, some really funny moments in there. A great idea for a sandwich. You know, you put the meat on the outside and the bread in the middle. That was a good idea. But the overall story was quite bland and disappointing. And the movie was long. It was very long. And by the end of it, I was quite happy when it was over. And I was left sitting there going, this is quite strange seeing this different version of Buzz Lightyear.
I can provide sleep sounds if you like. I have several options. Summer night, ocean paradise, whale calls.
No. White noise is fine.
Very well.
Good night, Socks.
Good night, Buzz.
You know, it's like if they did a whole Woody series and they had Tom Cruise play Woody in a live action version of Woody. So when it comes down to a rating out of 10 for Lightyear, I wasn't too impressed. I didn't enjoy the movie overall. And for me, it would be a 3 out of 10.
You are a toy!
The movie hits Disney Plus just next week. I believe it's the 3rd of August when it comes out. And I would say definitely watch something else.